वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day, where we will be reciting the 12th stanza of Jup Ji, which goes as follows. मन्ने की गति कही ना जाए, जे को कहे पिछे पछताए, कागद कलम न लिखण हार, मन्ने का बह करन विचार, ऐसा नाम निरंजन होए, जे को मन जाने मन कोय. First, a little bit of translation here. मन्ने की गत कही न जाए. The state or movement, gati means movement or the state of a being. So the state or movement of those who have attuned to hukam through the practice of shabad, sunay in the previous pauris, is impossible to describe. Kahi na jaye. Je ko kahe, piche pachtaye. Those who try will only be disappointed. Why? Because kagad kalam na likhan har, manne ka beh karan vichar. Because there is not enough paper, or enough pens for that matter, or scribes who could possibly capture this experience. The pointer here is that words are inadequate, that this is not really a subject matter that can be captured in words. ऐसा नाम निरंजन होए, जे को मन जाने मन खोए. Such is the true name, spotless, without stain, revealed only if one beholds it in the mind. As we proceed, we will talk a little bit about Nam, but here Nam Niranjan is simply pointing to that essence of everything which is not affected by the material world, Niranjan. Now we've seen that Pauris 8 through 11 held out the idea of Sunay, which we concluded was not simple, ordinary hearing, but actually involved a practice. It was a process through which attunement to hukam was to be attained. That was the starting point. Beginning here in Pauri 12 and leading up to the 15th Pauri, Guru Nanak describes the fruits of that process, manne. Now, manne is a somewhat difficult term to render in English because, all existing translations, or at least the ones that we are familiar with, have used belief, faith, remembrance, practice as translations for manne. And all of these appear somewhat less than satisfactory to us, especially when you view them in the context in which the term manne is being used. Now, while the term manne literally does mean to believe or accept, it doesn't really do justice to the idea behind manne. Just like treating sunay as ordinary hearing was missing the mark. So we've settled on describing manne as absorption or immersion in Shabad, a state that is akin to dissolving in Nam, in much the same way that sugar, when dissolved in water, is inseparable from it. Now, this includes acceptance as a precondition, but then manne extends beyond a mere passive acknowledgement of something or a belief in something to the activation of intuitive faculties. In other words, it's a dynamic process that ultimately leads the practitioner of this discipline to become a personification of Shabad, to actually embody Shabad in one's daily life. So solving the riddle of hukam through the Guru's Shabad, what does that do? It brings about an enhanced awareness or an expanded consciousness, an intuition, if you will, into how hukam operates, not only as the laws of nature, but beyond as well, as to how it manifests in human culture as moral law. These two are intertwined. As expressions of physical laws, we are, of course, intimately linked to phenomena around us and to the physical universe, and we have a symbiotic relationship. We do live in a universe that is participatory. We have to participate and react and act with it. Now, the consequences of attuning to Hukam, the transformation that comes about with Sunne, Guruji has described it in the loftiest of poetic expressions. All else, he tells us, pales in comparison to this experience. And one who does not have this experience, Guruji says, has in effect wasted a precious life. So a chief marker of this experience is an intuitive awareness of the unity of all creation. And this brings forth unconditional love for humanity. It brings forth inspired speech, and it makes for inspired living. In such a state, one's actions become spontaneous and harmonious, sahaj, with others and with the environment. Such a person becomes freed from the angst of existence, from the anxiety of social life, and the rat race that we are all in. Such a person has been referred to as a Gurmukh, literally the one that is facing the Guru, or the one that has imbibed Guru wisdom. So the gist of this passage is that the realized state of a Gurmukh cannot be described either by the experiencer or by anyone else. And any such attempt will come to grief. In other words, don't even try it. And this falls in line with Guru Nanak's insistence that the experiencer of such an experience remains silent before divine revelation. We will continue this train of thought in the coming pauris to try and understand how to activate these intuitive faculties in order to understand Sunne and Manne together. For now, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.